Men of Reddit, what's the hardest thing to explain to women? That just because I'm a guy doesn't mean I don't care. I've had women talk to me about guys losing their hair. He's a guy, so he doesn't care. I know a lot of guys who hate being bald or the fact that they are balding and their hair is thinning and hairline is receding. This idea that we don't care or don't care about our looks because we are a guy is ridiculous. I have to constantly explain to my wife why my 2-year-old son is obsessed with his penis. I have to explain why he always wants to touch it and grab it when his diaper is off. She will never understand why our baby and his father share this habit. That just because I'm quiet in your presence doesn't mean I'm upset. Just means I'm either tired, don't have anything to say, or I'm thinking about something. Sometimes an erection just happens. We don't control the thing. It's a physical response that could literally be from nothing. The fact that we can ride in a car with another man for 5 hours and not say a word drives my wife crazy. When you say, "Does this outfit look okay?" and we say yes, "You look stunning," and you reply, "Well, you would say that," half my brain thinks, "Please believe me, because you do look stunning," and the other half thinks, "WTF did you ask me for, if you aren't going to believe me?" That we don't know every detail about everyone else in my life. When I mention I hung out with someone, my mom will ask me what their wife does for a living and can't understand that it didn't come up in conversation. When we say we don't care, we really don't care. Yes, we can have an opinion on something, but when we say we don't care, that means our opinion isn't strong enough to sway us either way on something. We can hang out with other guys all day and not talk about anything personal or of substance. I think women tend to share more of this stuff with each other. What's going on in their relationships, career, etc. While guys tend to not share this kind of stuff with each other so often. We will every now and then. But a lot of time we tend to kind of keep things on the surface. I've just had so many of these kind of conversations. "So how's Jeff doing?" "He's doing well." "Is he still going out with Amanda?" "I actually don't know." "Well, didn't you guys hang out all day?" "Yay." "What did you talk about?" "Nothing really, just kind of whatever." "Isn't he your friend?" "One of my best friends." I was at home when my wife and her friends got home one day from the pub. They were all giving me funny looks and smirking. I asked what was going on. They at first refused to tell me. After a little while of prodding, one of them goes, "I heard all about your D." And they all broke into laughter. I was a little taken by surprise, but laughed and said something like, "Oh yay, hopefully all good." And they laughed, and that was the end of it. After they left, I was like, "What the hell did you tell them?" And my wife responded by saying how she told her friends about our vigorous romps on our honeymoon in Mexico, apparently in great detail. We were there for a week and probably had sex about 3 times a day. We were both pretty sore when we got home. We had an all-inclusive, so we ended up getting day drunk and got pretty physical with each other as you do on a honeymoon. She was like, "Whatever, you probably tell your friends all about us when it's just the boys. I don't know about you guys, but the extent of what I ever say is usually a raised eyebrow and something like, 'Oh yay boy.'" I have never once described my wife's body to a single one of my friends. Nothing in detail about any of my sexual partners from before my wife, and it blew her mind. Apparently girls talk in great detail about it. Guys usually don't. And they assume we do, and we assume they don't. As much as we're seen as sex-crazed pigs, we talk so little about women when we get together for drinks or something like that, and when we do the topic doesn't last long. Literally can't even remember when was the last time me and my best bud talked about women. We're both single too. Just usually talking about our old friends from school and what they're doing, cars, our jobs, sport, or politics occasionally. Sometimes I'm just horny, but in a committed relationship, sometimes I look at you and I'm just so in love that I want to be as close and intimate with you as I can, which is sex. My ex and I had different love languages, and she would worry that I don't love her as much as she loves me, which was just crazy because I was head over heels for her at all times. Trying to explain that really close love sex was one of the ways I showed her exactly how deeply I was in love with her, but she didn't get it. Your hints are obvious to other women, not men. If it can be rationalized, it will. No, we are not getting jealous when you're dating someone to get our attention. We're thinking good for her. I'm glad she found someone. We are not thinking that you're trying to get our attention by hanging out with us, even when you specifically ask to be alone with us. We're thinking, wow, I'm so glad to have a friend who wants to hang out with me. Words matter. They're effective and leave no room for misinterpretation. Just say you want to date us. Us guys are trained not to assume a girl is into us. If we do and we are wrong, we are socially crucified. At worst, it could result in legal action, depending on the extent it went to. It's too dangerous for us to assume, so please don't make us stop trying to pick apart my mind. If a girl asks, "What are you thinking about?" or "What did you say?" and I respond with, "Oh, nothing," it's always a problem. Sometimes I'm legit not thinking about anything. Sometimes I'm thinking about how that one time in 3rd grade my friend's dog wouldn't let me pet it, and why he was such a bastard that day. It's all random and has no value to anything. Sometimes I blurt out "What if the earth really is flat?" and then catch myself and think, no, that's dumb as hell. And a lady will push tooth and nail for me to repeat myself even after promptly explaining the things I said have no value to anything. Sometimes I do big dumb okay. Accept it. When the question "What are you thinking about?" gets answered with nothing, like, I don't really want to explain how I just imagined what it would be like if I was in a zombie apocalypse and what I would do and where I'd hide, all the places I'd have to go to get food, weapons, and how I just imagined if it was me in place of Will Smith in I'm Legend and what I'd do in his place. Stuff like that. It's easier to answer nothing than having to explain all of that and then get told you're weird, even though it's funny. Might not be the hardest, but explaining that men are generally fine helping with non-manly tasks. There's this stereotype that men who join a girl to do girly things, or even mundane things like grocery shopping, are bored and only doing it to appease the girl. That's usually incorrect. Ask me to go dress shopping with you? My sense of style might be barbaric, but we will make you look amazing. Take a spa day. I've never felt so clean and high quality in my life. As a little boy it was instilled in me that emotions were roadblocks to ultimate goals. Sad. Do something about it. Mad. Do something about it. Happy. Better keep doing that. Feelings are hurdles to jump over, and I can go a while before tripping. When I do trip though, oh boy does the memory of pain shoot through me like a bullet in the A's. I cry like a bitch about every hurdle up to that point, even though it was just one that made me fall. And because I don't fall too often, I don't really remember the procedure going about fixing the injury. You can load me on the stretcher and I might just roll out. You can give me a painkiller and I might just throw it up. Hell, I might be so traumatized by it all I might just stop running altogether for a while. Why our pride keeps us from doing certain things. Asking for directions or help are the common examples, but also not coming off as high maintenance or cheap. Things like not sending food back, not using small coupons, and being sheepish with large coupons. We don't know why either, but it tends to go away in our 30s and 40s. Also health issue denial. I figured I had lung cancer for years before I found out what heartburn is. Never occurred to me to see a doctor or tell anyone. We are living an illusion and faking it until we make it, I guess. You girls have so goddamn much control over our emotions without knowing it. Most of us men are so damn touch stuffed that the feeling of you running your fingers through our hair is a truth serum to us. You have us. We are no longer in control. You talk all soft and quiet and sweet like, and ask whatever question you want, while slowly running your fingers through our hair, and we are stuck, defaulted to our sleepy selves answering anything you ask truthfully. We cannot control what we say, or do at that moment. And again, for most of us, we aren't flexible enough to scratch our own disgusting backs. So in the wild we rub it up against stuff like trees and walls and the corners of door frames, etc. So when you scratch out backs, just right that weird face we make, and position we adjust to is how we do the doggy kicks. When you scratch a dog in the right spot. Same damn thing. We hide our emotions too often. But you have the keys. You may not always see the effects. But you have the F-king keys. You have the big red button. Just know what happens when you press it. Sometimes I just don't feel like sex. It doesn't mean I don't find you attractive, or that I'm sleeping with someone on the side, or that I'm secretly attracted to your best friend, or that I'm gay. Sometimes I'm tired or stressed, or just don't feel like having sex at the moment. There's no need to sulk, or pout, or bring it up 2 months later, when we are having an argument. Remember those first 2 months we were dating, and I was desperately trying to get in your pants, and you turned me down. Did I sulk, or pout, or become passive aggressive? No, I realize that not everyone is ready for sex all the time. That we are looking at the thing being worked on, or the problem being discussed, and are not aware of the emotional issues surrounding it. It's why we are trying to suggest solutions for what you talk to us about. We literally sometimes can't conceive of there being anything but the problem. We don't know that it's not about the problem. We don't know it's about how you feel. If it's a car problem, to us it's a machine that needs a part fixed, not how it felt to have a breakdown on the highway. We really are trying to help, but often it's not the same problem as what you are experiencing. I've been married about 10 years, and I still don't usually get it. Talking about a problem, but not coming up with a solution, is mentally taxing, to put it mildly. I'm going to make some broad generalizations here, so bear with me as I'm not eloquent enough to encompass the entire spectrum of gender. When a woman approaches a man to talk about a problem, it is not an attempt to solve the problem, simply a request to be heard and various viewpoints validated. When a man approaches another man with a problem, it is understood that both parties are on task to solve the problem, not to validate one's feelings. Men are hardwired to be problem solvers. When a man is confronted with a problem that they are not allowed to solve, it is like nails on a chalkboard. Our brain chemistry is wired to 1. Identify the problem, and 2. Take steps to solve the problem, so we get a hit of that sweet dopamine. To be confronted with a problem we can't solve makes it so we don't get that feel good hormone and are stuck in panic mode. Not enjoying small talk in certain situations doesn't mean I'm in a bad mood or feeling antisocial. When I moved to my current city, I hated getting haircuts. I started growing my hair out, and my wife asked me why I was doing it. My short hair apparently looked better. She thought I was crazy when I said I missed my old barber and couldn't find a new one I liked. He was the perfect barber, that rare type that would motion at the chair when I walked in, ask me if I wanted the usual, and say see you next month as I paid. I may be the odd one here, but I don't feel the need to tell everyone that cuts my hair my whole life story. Conversation is great in the right situations. Me not feeling like talking to someone doesn't mean something's wrong, just means I don't feel like talking. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.